Hey, Parks and Rec professionals across the state of Kansas. We are excited as the Rec Branch continues our interview process, interviewing people across the state for their events and their programs. I'm so happy to speak with today Audrey and Jama from Maze Rec, and we're going to talk about one of their really cool events called the Maze Tree Lighting Whoville. Thanks for being here. They came to Merriam today, which I'm super excited about. And we've all got our Christmas gear on, so super excited about the holidays. Yes, it was just Halloween a few days ago, but we like celebrating. So
we
that's
fully
why we're here.
transitioned
Absolutely.
into holidays.
We're
now.
into holidays already. So I'm just going to start right off with some event overview questions, and whichever of you would like to take the lead on that, go for it.
Sure.
So can you give us a brief overview of the event and who it is designed for?
Yes, so the Maze Tree Lighting is Whoville Special Edition with the Hula La Market.
Okay.
So it's a community-centered event, a collaboration by the City of Maze and the Maze Rec.
Okay.
It's not an uncommon practice to have a tree lighting or community event in celebration of a holiday. Or a time of year. So the City of Maze designed and built an amphitheater, which is called the Claire Donnelly Amphitheater, with the intentions of organizations like the Maze Rec, performing arts, bands, different types of people to offer events and entertainment at this amphitheater. So in completion of the venue, we as Maze Rec were eager to host our first tree lighting. And that's where, the idea, the conceptual idea came about, to kind of research what we want that to be and how we want that to feel.
And how long has that event been running? It sounds like it's kind of evolved over time.
Well, actually, this is only the third year. So we've only hosted it for 2 years. The event itself consists of stage entertainment, a vendor market, s'mores, fire pit, selfies with Santa and the Grinch, hot drinks, sweet treats, and of course the reason people like to attend is the tree lighting itself and a visit from Santa if he makes it.
So we know all in the Parks and Rec world, we were all planning like 6 months in advance. So what does that look like for you as far as planning for this event?
So really, I think when you have a conceptual, like the first time event, that takes a lot more forefront, a lot more pre-planning. We started the conversations knowing that when the amphitheater was built, that is something that we wanted to offer, more or less 9 months out to even a year, in regards to securing the big key players involved. So for example, Santa.
Right. Thanks for being here. Can you do it next year?
Yeah, exactly. So that, you have to get on the books about a year in advance. People like the Grinch and the DJ and the, people that are actually going to make the event happen. Those, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, as much advance notice as you can get is ideal. The timeline kind of varies dependent upon if it's a new event or an existing event.
Got it. Okay. You had mentioned that the event has been running about 3 years, and you did say it was the Whoville edition. So what has changed over the 3 years that you've been doing it?
Yeah, so we originally grew the idea from inspiration, seeing what other communities and cities offer. So that is where it starts as an inspiration and then becomes, more of a vision. What did Maze specifically want ours to look like, and how did we want it to feel? So then from the inspiration, we went into more of a research-based approach and kind of navigated, the look and the feel. So the elements of the physical elements of like what the tree is going to look like and the lights and the decorations to how, we want it to feel. Do you want it to feel community based? And so, kind of our inspiration was the Grinch and that final scene in the movie where they're wrapped around the tree singing, and so once we knew that the end result, we really wanted everybody to be circled around the tree. We kind of, then took that and ran with the Grinch essentially as our theme.
Okay.
And so, not only are the physical structures important, but the feel that you want within the event. So it's, started as an inspiration, became a vision, and then conceptually, we created the Whoville market came to life.
Okay.
And then, our goal was to create holiday traditions where the family, friends, neighbors, businesses could all gather. The event has evolved in the fact that, the first year you do it, the second year, if people come back, you did it right. And then the third year is where we're going to work to enhance the user experience. So this year we're focusing on enhancing the participant experience.
Okay. So it sounds like a lot of it is centered around the tree and what the tree brings to the town. So it's cold in December. Are you doing all this stuff outside, or is it inside? Or?
Yeah, so everything is outside at
even
this
the market?
point. Even the market.
Wow.
Yeah. For the enhanced experience this year, we are looking at adding a portion of the market to be indoors. However, that's not, a guarantee, but I think if you could offer indoor-outdoor market space, that would be ideal.
And tell me a little bit more about the market. What is that?
So the market consists of vendors, and, they have a vendor application. We can provide electricity or not provide electricity. We try and keep them as close to the main stage as possible, so that way there's a lot of traction when it comes to the entertainment that's on the stage and the vendors, so that it can kind of overlap each other. That is one thing that we're kind of navigating this year in how the event is going to evolve is, the space, have we outgrown the original footprint that we designed, and do we need to expand more to where we can offer more decorations, more path lighting, the indoor-outdoor shopping experience. So just kind of at this point, everything is outdoors, but we're looking at ways to enhance those outdoor amenities and
so I
activities.
guess when I hear enhancing and lighting, I think, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. So what's your general budget for the event, and how do you get it into those expense categories to stay on budget when you want to grow the event?
So this event, community events in general, the goal is to, break even, but that doesn't always happen. And how do you get to the point of breaking even? So subsidizing, obviously, and then also sponsorships. So sponsorships are huge for our Christmas event. And each year we try and garnish, sponsorships dollars or in kind to offset the cost of the event. We know that the initial investment was very costly, but we're looking at those sponsorships to help kind of offset the cost, long term.
Got it.
So each year we've collected about $5,000 in sponsorships to help host the event, to make sure that we're offering it free to the community. So the hot chocolate, the sweet treats, the stage entertainment, everything is free. The only thing that they have to pay for as a participant is if they were to buy anything at the market.
At the market, okay. And do the vendors have to pay to be on site?
Yes, they do have to pay an application fee, and then also that, that's a small fee, and then it determines, if they are just a booth or a booth with electricity, or indoor space. So we leverage a little bit there with the fees.
Okay. Now we're going to go a little bit into the marketing and promotion. I think Audrey, that's more of kind of your end.
Yes.
So how do you market the event, and what channels work best for the audience that you're trying to go after?
So first step is we get it into our seasonal activity guide, or quarterly activity guide. And then as soon as that's distributed to our community, we get a Facebook event created. And then from there, we do email blasts and then a lot of social media marketing.
So what's that typical timeline? I know everyone does those quarterly magazines. And
yes.
So when do your social posts start going out? So is it before Halloween? Are you a before Halloween kind of person?
I mean, we always have really good intentions, and we want to have that. The event creation is usually in July, because that's when our activity guide does go out.
Okay.
So that's kind of the first time people see it, whether in print or online. And then From there, we've talked about, we're in year 3 here and we're still trying to
right, figure it all out.
We wanted to do 100 days until kind of countdown post, 75 days until, and we usually end up on 25 days.
There you go.
25 days out, like let us get through Halloween first. And then we really hit hard with Christmas. And then we have the last couple of years really leaned into the 12 days of Christmas with the promotion of it. So
perfect.
And it usually starts with trying to create some sort of campaign, whether it is the 12 days of Christmas or tapping into the theme, so it does kind of play in, the theme plays into, again, the marketing campaign.
And typically, honestly, I think the very first post that even goes out is for vendors. We give them the most notice. And that kind of coincides with our city's farm and art market. A lot of the same ones that participate in that will come to our Hula La market. And so theirs is kind of ending September, and that's kind of when they're getting our first information to come to this event as well.
So you've mentioned vendors a lot. Is it homemade crafts? What are the vendors selling while they're on site?
It is a lot of homemade crafts. Some, food, bread, soaps.
Do you allow commercial vendors, or is it just kind of
It's only
home-based
if they
businesses?
sponsor.
Right.
So if you're a sponsor for the event, then you can be on site. If you did not sponsor the event, then we do not actually allow businesses or vendors to profit off of if
Your
they
audience.
did not sponsor the event.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie, back to you as far as event day details. We know it's crazy, but what does your day of timeline look like from setup to tear down?
Oh my goodness. This is
we actually start the week up.
Oh gosh. So day of gets a little bit difficult.
Just follow Jamie around everywhere she goes.
Kind of referencing back to the planning, it's very detail and time intensive, particularly, like I had referenced when you're launching a new event. So confirming the core logistics, kind of in reference to Audrey's program guide, like all of the core logistics have to be outlined prior to the program guide, because you don't want false advertising and you don't want somebody to see it there before you've confirmed with them that they're actually going to be there.
Because they will definitely ask day of.
Yes. And so going back to, again, this is in layers, and I feel like the planning timeline is constantly evolving. And so as long as the core of the event is planned prior to the program guide, then after the program guide it starts like your countdown. You get to the 6 months, you get to the 3 months, you get to the 2 weeks out, you get to the 1 week out, you get to the 48 hours out, you get to the 24 hours out, So it's like all of that has to happen in order for your day of planning to run smoothly. So you have to have your pre-planning and your communications on spot to be able to actually fulfill your day of. So going back to your initial question, day of, if I've done my preparation and my communication correctly, the weeks leading up to the event, I rely heavily on a comprehensive outline to keep me on task. And that serves as both a reference and a roadmap for my staff. Because if I don't have my outline, nothing's getting done. So when pre-planning effectively, executing the day of, usually consists of layouts already done, walkthroughs already done, a mock run-through has been done. So everybody already knows essentially what the day is going to look like, where everything's going to go, and how it needs to be placed. In the communication process, usually everybody has an idea of what their day of responsibilities are. So day of, I start with like a early morning, hey, last time I'm going to communicate with you. I'll see you here at this day or this time. And so then, it usually is the core staff initially meeting the day of to help put anything in place that wasn't in place the day before.
Okay.
Then we bring in the support staff, which is usually the hired staff that are paid.
Okay.
And they usually show up about 2 to 4 hours prior to the event. They start kind of trickling in.
Okay.
And then usually I have another round of staff, which is more the like volunteer / staff that arrive, about an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to the event.
Okay.
Outside of that, you're working behind the scenes with each core staff member is assigned a responsibility. So for example, for the Christmas event, Audrey would take vendors. I would take stage entertainment. So I would get the DJ set up. I would get the sound check going. She would be greeting the vendors. She would be showing them their spots.
Okay.
My other 2 coworkers would have an assigned responsibility, whether it comes to food and beverage, or they would be putting out signs. They would be, doing those plugging in inflatables, turning the lights on, doing those last minute things that, when you have it. So you have to kind of have dedicated staff for each responsibility that has to be done, and everybody kind of has to stick to a general timeline. Now there's always going to be changes, decisions need to be made at the last minute, pivots happen.
Right.
We did have some vandalism last year right before our Christmas event.
Yeah.
And so,
like
that
literally the day before.
the
gosh,
day, yeah.
what a shame.
And so, at that point you're like, okay, these path lights aren't lighting. Like, how can we rewire that? Things like that. So it's not going to be perfect the day of. So you do have to, know in the back of your mind that could disrupt your flow or your timeline. But as long as you have the outline and you have the general direction that everybody is going, and you've done your work ahead of time and you've done your communication ahead of time, you usually are able to pivot in those moments and make up for the time lost if something were to come up like that. So I think it's, day of is execution. Like you have to have your planning, you have to have your communication done. You have to strictly be executing the day of.
2 things that you said that I kind of want to ask a question and comment about. I think it's super important, and I really like how you have people in specific roles. So Audrey's doing the vendors, you're doing stage entertainment. I think that probably, I know it would for me, alleviate a lot of that stress, because you put those key people in those key areas, and it's just taken care of.
Yeah, you have to have trusted staff, and you have to rely on your team. Special events is not a one-man job. Like, it is a group effort. It is, I rely heavily on my team to execute it. So whereas I'm kind of the behind the scenes, I'm setting them up, making them successful for their roles and their responsibilities, but in turn that puts me at ease.
Right. I like that.
So it's 100% a team effort from the beginning planning stages through the execution, cleanup,
because they're going to
debriefing.
see stuff that you won't throughout the day, and that would be something that they could add their expertise to as well.
Yeah.
So one other thing you mentioned, you both actually talked about it. You had vandalism the day of. So what do you do? What did you do for that? And you're outside, it's cold. What if you wouldn't have a nor'easter here? So me being from the nor'east,
Well, you'd be surprised.
Oh
my gosh.
Outside. I know you have your s'mores pits. So does everyone just stand over the fire pits? What do you do if it's blustery and cold?
So I'll kind of start, and then I'll let Jema fill in the details. But we work really well with our city. So we are a rec commission. So it's just us, but we have a really close working relationship with our city department, and they're involved in this event as well.
Okay.
Public Works,
Got it.
especially, and they're the ones who
100%.
absolutely took care
And
of
you
the
rely on your
vandalism that
team.
happened.
Oh yeah, you
Amazing.
rely on
Yes.
your team. Everybody has their area of expertise, and everybody brings that to the table the day of. And so there's multiple times that we
So
call
important.
on, the city manager helps with navigating the weather, or Public Works helps with rewiring things at the last minute.
So it sounds like that happened.
Yeah.
And cleaning up the mess that happened.
yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, restrooms, I
Right.
mean,
it was a peanut butter and jelly
Attack?
smear.
attack, a smear.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly smear, candy canes missing, lights not working,
Oh my gosh.
just
Silly.
minor but big
Well,
in
it
this
affects
case,
the event,
but it
absolutely.
affects the event, and it affects the day of timeline.
Yeah.
It does.
Jamie doesn't like that.
No, you are not on this piece of paper.
And it's funny that so going to the weather portion of it, it's funny you mentioned a nor'easter, because
Okay.
our very first year that we offered this event, we legitimately the day of, so our event is from 5 to 7.
Okay.
And we were out there in the afternoon in short sleeves,
Oh my gosh.
setting up because it was beautiful, sunny. I mean, literally short sleeves.
When does the event
time-
happen? Is it in December, I assume?
The first Sunday in December.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so unseasonably warm day. Like we were
Okay.
super pumped about it. You know, first year event, everything's
This is
going to
great.
plan.
Weather
Yes.
is on our side.
It's on our side.
Yeah.
We get the vendors there, and during their setup, I don't know, it was probably around 4 o'clock-ish.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
The wind,
The clouds come in,
Oh
they're
my
lowering,
gosh.
they're darkening.
and then next thing we know, it's like winds like you would not believe. They were literally blowing over the vendors' products.
Oh
their
my gosh. Did you
tents.
move inside?
No, Nope, we
we
weathered the
had, I
storm.
mean,
Oh
we
my
literally
gosh,
had
literally.
staff holding tents down so they wouldn't blow away.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And it lasted an hour, hour and a half, and then the wind was fine.
We're sticking this out.
And the tree lighting was gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Oh
The
my
weather
gosh.
just like paused for the moment of the tree
Yep.
and after. And
That's
so
great.
everybody was able to regroup.
Yep.
Not all was lost, and it ended up being a perfect night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
great.
you just have to weather the storm.
Very good. I like
Literally.
it.
Holding tents down
Literally,
and all.
exactly. Yeah, we've all been there, that's for sure. All right, so my next question about biggest challenges. So besides weather, since we kind of already talked about weather, what are some other challenges that you face with this event or any kind of special event that you're doing?
Okay, so let me reference where am I back?
Yeah, I'll kind of, from my point of view, because I
Yeah.
do the marketing and
Okay.
promotion for the event
Mhm.
once it's established and everything. It's just fighting timelines. And we don't have a dedicated marketing person, and so it falls on us.
On you, yep.
And when you're trying to get all of that information out, it's hard when you're doing your normal daily job.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, because your daily job doesn't stop when it's special
Right.
event season.
Right.
And special events are year round. And I think I calculated at MIDSREC we're offering, I don't know how this compares to other, rec commissions and city recs, but 10 special events. So there's 12 months in a year. You're basically offering a special event a month.
Mhm.
So you take all of that planning, 2 weeks, the
Absolutely.
month marker, the 6 months, the 9 months, the 12 months, times 10. Where do you find the time?
You don't.
You know?
You just
And
keep
you
rolling.
have to have a marketing, and then you have to marketing plan, and then you have to do your actual
The rest of your
the
job.
rest of your
Mhm.
job.
And all of that with 4 full-time staff.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
all we have.
yeah.
So,
So to pull off
it's
10
hard.
special events, the time is
Right.
definitely a
Hard.
challenge.
Yeah, you manage your time well.
We do have to manage our time well.
Yes.
So I think, moving into specifically this special event itself, challenges that usually arise, weather,
Right.
one, sound difficulties due to the weather,
Right.
because if the wind is blowing, the microphones don't sound the same,
Mhm.
batteries deplete quicker.
Absolutely.
Like it's
Mhm.
just, so weather is probably huge. One thing that we've encountered, and I don't know if other people have, but our Santa, we've had a long history with a Santa, and heaven forbid if any kids watch this, but he passed away.
Oh my gosh.
So unexpectedly passed away, and expected, unexpected, final conversation, and I knew that we would be taken care of, but that's challenging when
Mhm,
you've had
absolutely.
the same Santa for 10 years, so I would say, or like we had an incident of, someone getting hurt on our carriage rides the
wow.
previous year, so then you have to evaluate,
Whether you're bringing that back.
whether you're bringing that back and in what capacity,
Right.
and so there's obviously like bigger challenges that
Mhm.
you have to face, but then there's smaller challenges that arise the day of, like the vandalism that are
Right.
just out of your control. So some you can control and some you can't control.
Yeah, and it's all how you control it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to go into how you measure success for your events. Do you get feedback from people that come? How do you know what you're doing is what your community wants?
So I feel like for me, I am so I'll backtrack. We don't have a system that tracks, attendance at these events. We don't have a survey that we offer immediately following this event. I would say, my approach is very much a conversational style approach and just what I can gather within. So, I take real-time feedback within the event itself, and then I also try and capitalize on being here and in the moment at the end of the event. I try not to dwell on, the changes that we may need to make and what went wrong, and I try and focus really on the positives and the takeaway that was in that actual event and in that moment itself.
Okay.
And then a lot of it is one-on-ones. So one-on-one with Public Works, one-on-one with the city manager, one-on-one with the staff, the core staff, Maze Rec staff, one-on-one with the support staff, one-on-one with the volunteers, one-on-one with the participants.
Okay, I'm tired.
Yeah, but Jama is very good at
I'm
communication.
very
She
much a
loves that.
conversationalist.
Yep. So important.
So I feel like making my rounds plus Audrey's feedback that she gets because she is so diligent on not only prior to the event but after the event.
Okay.
So we get a lot of feedback on social media after the event.
Good and bad.
The majority of it's
Majority
good.
is
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good.
In fact, I think this past Halloween, that was the first time we really got a negative thing on any of our
Was a
events.
negative comment, and you can choose to share it or not. But was it the negative comment something that you can change, or is it something that was really, unfortunately, it's kind of the way it is?
It was unfortunately the way that it is.
Okay.
So I know we're kind of talking about Christmas here, but since I brought it up, to
Right.
kind of backtrack to that. So our Halloween event is a drive-through.
Okay.
So like trunk or treat, but in your cars.
Okay.
And this comment was, I showed up at 8:30 or 8:15. They closed the gate, or they barricaded. They wouldn't let me in.
Okay. What time did the event end?
8:30.
Okay.
They didn't pre-register, which we do allow pre-registered as long as supplies last. And we are very upfront with that.
Right.
It's in all of our communication, activity guide, social media marketing, website. It's everywhere.
Right.
And unfortunately, this person just showed up the night of, at the very end of the event, wanted in, and was turned away.
Okay. And it happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
So some things, again, you can control, some you can't.
Right.
I think for that person, they really, like, in their comment expressed, well, how did I know I was supposed to pre-register? Well, how did I know supplies last? And,
You almost wish you could say, you knew about the event, right? So you saw all the communication. Then you saw what we put in there that you had to pre-register.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the funniest thing, Renee, is because she posted the same comment on probably 3 of our different social media
Oh,
posts
wow.
because she really wanted it seen.
Yeah.
And I think she wanted a response from us. We did not respond to it. And on one of the posts that she actually responded to, or put it on, it was laying out exactly what you needed to do the day of with all of the information right there.
Unbelievable. You just can't make some people happy.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And we're very lucky. Our community is very supportive of us, and people in the comments, very gracefully, nicely
Right.
let them know what they needed to do for the next
And
year.
so they took care of
they
it.
took care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you. You didn't
Yeah.
even have to comment.
No.
That's great.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the bad guy.
Exactly.
Leave it to your community. So someone else wants to replicate this event. Now we're back to Christmas. The Christmas event for their community, large or small. What advice would you give them? You've been doing it a few years now. So if they're starting out, what would be some advice that you would give them?
Collaborate. Our special events don't happen without collaboration.
Okay.
It takes the rec, the city, the school district, any organizations, local businesses, collaboration is key. The more resources you bring in, the more people you bring in, the better your event will be. It creates a very inviting atmosphere when you utilize all of your resources within your community. Everybody brings a special touch. Everybody brings participants. It's not a one-man job, and it's not a one organization job. It is everybody,
together.
And if you can use those resources and the people that you're having participate in your event built-in audience.
Right.
For example, I know we haven't walked you through the actual event itself, but one of the things that we do have is stage entertainment. So JAMA has reached out to some of the local what are they? Musical vocal groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and some of our musical, we do a summer musical, and some of them come out and they're actually performing on stage. Well, who's coming to watch? Parents, their families, grandparents, friends, and so build in the audience by using those extra resources.
Right.
So definitely collaborate, and then I would say do your homework. Research the events that are happening around you. You don't, try your best not to compete. Try not to be on the day of, so definitely do your research, do your homework. Make sure that you define what you want the vision to be and how you want it to feel. All prior to before picking your date and time.
Right.
So there's a lot that you can do ahead of time to, position yourself to start the planning process for an event like this. And then I would say definitely be having the date and time picked first. The date, time, and location. As long as you got that, then you can start
and get it on
everything.
everybody's schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So it's collaboration, it's date and time, location, it's communication. And then it is the, event planning part of it comes after.
All the logistics.
Yeah, all the logistics.
So it sounds super fun. So what is, both of you, I'd like to hear you both answer, your favorite part of the event?
My favorite part of the event, I already know, and it's backed up by one of our first.
When it's over?
Yeah, I know. Everybody wants
And it's over.
No, but it's my favorite is the atmosphere that we actually create with this
Absolutely.
event. Our very first year that we had it, a real in-time comment that we had was, this is the best event. We've been waiting for this year in Mays, and I really feel like I'm in a Hallmark movie.
Oh my gosh.
And it does, everything, because it's all of the activities are right there in the amphitheater loop. From the sound to the Christmas tree lights, we have a hill that kids just roll down. They create their own fun, entertainment.
Exactly. That's great.
And it truly is that small town Hallmark feel that gets you really excited for Christmas.
The holidays, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking for next year, how can I build on this? Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that next year.
Okay,
and then you're
so
planning 12 months in advance.
Mount Crumpet. So we legit have Mount Crumpet, and we have the Grinch on it. And so that has lent itself to be a very favorite feature, like she said, of people rolling down it. This year our goal is, so just kind of referencing back to enhancing user experience, instead of them rolling down the hill, we're going to maybe create some slides that they can use their sleds and slide down the hill. So instead of just path lighting, now it's, a feature, basically.
Oh my gosh, you turned it into another station. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
And then we're going to add, additional characters and photo opportunities and, enhance the, food court availability and seating. And so it's like, you don't have to make big changes each year. You kind of get a foundation, that you can do it a second year, and then you start enhancing the experience and growing it from there. But I would say, going back to your question, favorite part, is the minute the tree lights.
Yeah, I know it works.
And it
And
really
all the
is.
lights come on.
Yes,
absolutely.
Like basically,
You're holding your breath until you hit the button and everything turns on.
I can like legit let down the minute that tree is lit.
I get it.
But it's that aha moment where everything comes together, all the feelings, the picturesque, the structural, like that's the moment that everything comes together.
Well, and I kind of like
look
look
party.
Yeah,
exactly.
I look back
Exactly.
and I'm like, gosh, look what we did.
Mhm.
And there's so many people that are so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it so special for you, the person that's creating those events for the people in your community.
Yes.
It makes you want to work harder the next year to bring those memories.
It
again.
really does. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
definitely the reward that you get from seeing everybody else enjoy what you've created. Who gets to do that?
Right,
Obviously,
right.
we say it. It's cliche
Absolutely.
over and over
No,
again,
absolutely.
but it is.
Really, like the best for me, for when you say flip the switch, it's almost when you do all that planning for a year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, when that switch flips, you're like, oh, it started.
Yes.
Now I can run around and do what I have to do throughout the course of the day, but it's when it actually starts and you got it to start and your team is there.
Mhm.
It's just bonus.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great feeling.
It absolutely is. Well, thank you for all of your insight. Was there anything else you wanted to share about this cool event?
Well, with this video, we'll add at the end of it a visual walkthrough. So since we have a bunch of video and pictures from the first 2 years, we'll throw that in as part of this, so then everybody at home can
That
see
would be great.
everything that we've talked about. Because again, I know we didn't actually walk through the event. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say that and working documents, outlines, invoices to sponsors, any types of resources that, we see beneficial for somebody that is trying to replicate this event or other special events. I'm happy to share. Audrey's happy to share. I know we didn't get too much into detail on, the marketing side of things. And, I would say too, with that, it always goes from event, post, story, reel, so we have a lot of resources that, we didn't touch on, but that we could also, elaborate on or send to somebody that's interested.
One question about marketing. I feel like my hat's falling off. Sorry. I'm going to fix it for a second. Do you ever do any paid promotions?
Up until this point, we haven't.
Okay.
We did too.
But we've had such, luckily, I mean, we've been very blessed with that.
That's great.
The attendance at our events, Maze is very supportive.
That's great.
And so up until this point, we really haven't had to. Now, I will say parts that I forgot to mention were we do put our events on local
calendars.
Yeah, so like we have a Wichita Moms blog group,
right?
Wichita on the Cheap. We have Wichita by EB, who's a food blogger, but he's kind of going into more of like all city of Wichita, what's happening. And we're on the outskirts, like we're suburb of Wichita. So we utilize their calendars, their publicity that they give to us to help.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I would just say get yourself a ugly sweater.
Yes.
Which I know how to get. A theme that you can get behind. A supportive director. Collaborate, bring in your resources. Have an Audrey. That's your right hand man.
And a Jama.
Yeah, you want to have it.
You need, yes, you do.
Absolutely.
So I would say, support from your coworkers, support from your city, from your school, the property that you're using, local businesses, organizations. If you're a good hype person and you have a good team, then you can accomplish.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
What we have.
All right, great. Well, thank you to the both of you for coming to Miriam. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite, Brett, and having us.
Yeah.
We love being in person.
Good. I love that.
Getting festive with
Getting
you.
Christmas in November.
Mrs. Claus
Absolutely.
right now.
I'm going to take this off because it keeps falling off. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I love it.
yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your hearts be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a
There's a bug crawling up my leg.
I doubt that. Ready for Christmas! Merry Christmas!